Welcome to Making Sense of It All. I'm Jesse Stakes, and in this episode, we're talking about insurance and we're talking about cash flow. We're talking about how people should only pay for what they need. I feel like I should have a large bird next to me, but I think I would probably be sued for copyright infringement. Pay-as-you-go insurance has been popular in the workers' comp space for years now, but we're starting to see it permeate other types of insurance, and why shouldn't it? As consumers, most of us pay for things as we use them. We don't go to the grocery store and stockpile food for what we think we might use for 6 months or a year. We buy things for the week, or we buy them as we need them. We're at a point with technology that we should be able to do this with insurance products as well. My guest this week is Dino Carbone. He is the co-founder and executive vice president of sales and marketing for SmartPay Solutions, and they work every day doing just that. Enjoy my conversation with Dino. Let's jump right into it. So Dino, tell me a little bit about SmartPay and what you guys do.
Sure. So SmartPay is involved in the world of what's called pay-as-you-go for business insurance. So a lot of insurances are based upon some type of a variable, whether it's payroll or sales. And what that means is as a business runs their payroll, the insurance premium, particularly for their workers' comp insurance, is based on that payroll. And the way it traditionally worked for a business owner is they would have to guess what that payroll was going to be over the next 12 months during their policy period. And then at the end of the year, the insurance company would audit and say, hey, congratulations, Jesse, you had a great year. Your payrolls were up by 25%. So guess what? You owe us 25% more in premium. So with pay as you go, as the payroll is run, the insurance premiums are calculated with each pay period. So the business owner is really paying for what they use. And so that was the genesis of creating SmartPay. We did it originally for, my background is I had an insurance agency. My ex-partner and I developed this for our own clients so that they could pay for their insurance based upon their actual payrolls. It got bigger than a breadbasket. We sold the agency, and now we've got almost 60 different insurance programs using the SmartPay capability.
Very cool. So are you guys actually selling the insurance policy, or are you guys doing the technical overlay of the pay as you go, or kind of a hybrid of both?
No, we're kind of, we're an aggregator of data. So we kind of sit in the middle. We feel like we're many to many. So we have a lot of payroll companies that feed us the data. We have a lot of insurance companies that collect the premium through SmartPay. We don't really care who the insurance company, agent, or payroll company is. I mean, obviously, over the years, we've developed great relationships and have strong strategic partnerships.
Sure.
But the reality is we're here processing the data that comes in, calculating and collecting the premiums and remitting them back to the carrier. And so we've established a platform that sits in the middle of all those transactions.
Company and client agnostic. I like it.
Yeah, there you go.
So tell me this, how did you guys get started? I mean, what was it? I mean, I get it that you had your own agency and it was, and you kind of you saw a need there, but what did it look like when you stepped out of being an agency and just doing it for your clients? How did you sell the idea? How did you talk about the idea to payroll companies and to insurance agents to buy into this idea?
Well, totally honest, the payroll company world is actually the one that created this, right?
Okay.
They had the payroll data. They knew that workers' comp in particular insurance is based on that payroll data. So some of the payroll companies went to these insurance companies and said, hey, look, we've got all the data you need to calculate the premiums. Why wait till the end of the year and have that painful audit process? Why not do it as the payroll is being run? So we had a few of our big clients approached by some payroll companies and said, hey, we can do this for you. And by the way, we also want to be the insurance broker. We went, whoa, maybe we can do this ourselves, naively thinking that it was an easy process, but that's how you get into a lot of these things, right, by accident. And so we decided to do it ourselves. for our own clients. And it turned out, like I said, bigger than a breadbasket. Some insurance companies said, hey, we want that capability. So we sold the agency back 2012, got some private equity money at that time. And so since then, we bought the company back, and here we are.
Well, and to your point, as an insurance agent, to be able to say, yes, we offer that too. You don't have to go to a payroll company in order to receive those benefits. That's incredibly powerful.
Yeah. I mean, again, our hearts are with the independent insurance agents, right? There's a lot of payroll companies, again, partners of ours, and they've decided to get into the insurance business and be the broker. Sure. But the reality is we like to level the playing field and say, look, it doesn't matter where your payroll is being run as a business owner. And you just need to be able to pay for your insurance this way, because as every business owner I've ever talked to said, why isn't everybody doing this? It just makes sense. Why do I have to guess what my payroll is going to be? Why do I have to guess what my payroll is going to be when I can do this, every pay period? So
no doubt,
it was a natural evolution.
It's just it was missing that technological overlay for those folks to compete. They didn't have the tool in their tool belt to compete. So they were losing clients, or they were losing one of their insurance lines. Yeah. And it was allowing a competitor in the door. And so, to your point, leveling the playing field, I think it's a great thing. I believe all of those companies benefit because now they can work together instead of looking at each other as competitors. I think your payroll companies, your independent insurance agencies, your group health benefits, all of these guys now can look at each other as partners rather than looking at each other as competitors.
That's exactly it. And we're a technology-enabled insurance product, right? So to your point, the technology that we've developed and that exists today is really driving this process. And it's definitely an evolution in terms of how particularly insurance premiums are going to be paid, not only today, but going forward. So the technology that's necessary to do that, though, now exists. We have our own developers on staff, so we're not beholden to anyone else in terms of developing this technology. We've got it, and now we're going to adapt it to other business insurance premium calculations, and that's where SmartPay is going on a go forward basis.
That's really cool. Can you give the audience some examples of some of the things that they could be looking for as far as other insurance lines that could be done on a pay-as-you-go basis?
Yeah, just really something that's kind of what's going on in the world today, right? So we have a program with one of our strategic partners where they've developed insurance coverage for dealers open lot. And basically what that means is every car dealer has to cover those vehicles on their lot, right? The values of those vehicles on their lot from hail and other types of damages to those vehicles. Well, we all know what's going on with chip shortages and COVID, and the dealers were paying for insurance on vehicles that they didn't even have.
Right.
They had to guess what the value of the vehicles was going to be on their lot. And so anyway, one of our strategic partners, Amwins, give a little shout out to Amwins for coming up with this concept with us, said, hey, look, we'd like to allow our dealers to report those values every month because they are going up and down and they do fluctuate. So that's an evolution of what we developed for workers' comp, now available for that coverage. And real quick, I'll tell you, sales for restaurant liability, liquor sales, general a contractor has to pay based on their payroll for their liability insurance. So any insurance that has a variable exposure that goes up and down is something that's going to be a target for us going forward, because it just makes sense for the business owner to pay for what they need, pay for what they use.
No doubt. Well, and I think in today's world, I mean, we've all gotten so used to kind of an app economy, if you will, where everyone is $9.99 per month. Everyone is trying to even out their revenue. And so when you can, on the flip side of that, I think being able to offer somebody the ability to even out their expenses throughout the year and to make sure that they truly are paying for what they need, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for the business owner, and it's great insight by you guys to realize that there's a hole there and there was something to fill.
Well, and if you're in the insurance company world, your best clients are the ones that just pay their bill.
Right?
They never have claims. They just pay their bill. So why not make that customer experience as good of an experience as you can make it? And SmartPay is right in the middle of that process saying, hey, look, pay for it as you use it, as you need it. And if you never have a claim, you're the best client that an insurance company could ever want. And we want to be able to facilitate that capability.
This might be a question for a future episode, but do you foresee the fact that you're making this so easy for the insurance companies? Do you see any type of additional rebates, or do you see any type of benefit to the customer to go this direction rather than pay on a quarterly or annual basis?
Well, we feel very strongly that the insurance companies are saving on expenses. They're saving on the leakage of collecting premium. They don't have to chase money. And we are seeing some insurance companies say, you know what, that's worth a discount. That's worth a credit,
Right.
for us, because we don't have to chase the money. We're getting it as quickly as it's earned, saving on expenses. So I think ultimately an insurance company is going to say, hey, look, if you're willing to pay for your insurance this way, your pricing might be a little bit different, a little bit better.
Well, and I think it goes to customer loyalty and to you're talking about a brand experience. When somebody puts their money where their mouth is and they actually reward that loyal customer that's making life easier on them, that's loyalty. That's where you gain that.
Yeah. And here's a message, right, for all the insurance companies, that whoever is listening that might see this. We have had time and time and time again where a business owner has been on SmartPay, but has changed their agent, has changed their payroll company, has changed their insurance company. But they say, I want to be on SmartPay. So if you want my insurance, you have to do what SmartPay does, or you have to use SmartPay. Otherwise, I'm not moving my insurance, right? It gets back to that comment a business owner says to me, Dino, why isn't everybody doing this? It's the best way to pay for my insurance. So it's really interesting. We've been at this now, 7-8 years, and we're seeing repeat clients and business owners that are on our platform that want to stay on our platform. But the changing of the payroll, the agent, or the carrier, might happen. And we're one of the first to recognize that.
No doubt. Dino, I want to switch gears a little bit here and talk about you. How did you get involved in insurance in the first place? What attracted you to the business?
Yeah, I was a finance major right out of college. And I'll be perfectly honest, my cousin worked in the human resources department for the Aetna Life and Casualty in Hartford, Connecticut.
Nice.
And she said in my senior year, hey, Mr. At the time, his name was Mo Gillette. He was the head of HR at the Aetna. And he said, hey, I'd like to talk to you during one of your breaks. So there, again, it's something that happens by accident, but it was great company. So I had a job before I graduated, which made it a lot of fun, and been in insurance ever since. So that's how it all started.
Pretty impressive. It created a whole life for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Insurance is one of those things everybody's got to have, but nobody likes to buy it. So if you can make the process of buying it or dealing with it, easier for someone, you've got a lifetime career. And that's kind of what's happened to me.
No doubt. What do you see happening with SmartPay over the next 5 years to grow the company?
Jesse, and you and I have talked about this before. Education to me is one of the most important things in terms of this whole concept. One of my personal goals and one of SmartPay's goals, quite frankly, too, is also to educate the agents that are selling the insurance, because nothing happens until an insurance policy is sold, right? So, but as the insurance agents start to realize the value of talking to their prospects and their clients about paying for their insurance this way, getting the insurance companies to understand the value and using it as a tool for them, and to help business owners. So it's really all about education, sharing what we understand, quite frankly, making something really boring and painful, not boring and painful, right?
Right.
So make it as painless as possible, bring it as a benefit. And quite frankly, again, like to make that transparent. It's not like we need to shine a light on who we are and what we do. We just need to educate. And we know that when that happens, people are going to gravitate towards SmartPay because we are the player in this space. So that's the way I approach it. That's what I'm looking at. And that's kind of where SmartPay stands at this point. It's we want to be evangelists for the pay-as-you-go world.
So it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it. Are there certain vehicles that you're using, or are there certain ways right now that you're getting out there and telling the story, telling the good news about pay-as-you-go?
Yeah, you're one of them, buddy. The reality is this.
Fair enough.
The reality is this. There's millions of businesses out there. There's hundreds of insurance companies, thousands of agents. and close to 1,000 or so payroll companies, right? So how do you get the word out there? It's a challenge. It's a
Sure.
real challenge. And, everybody has a budget, but technology is helping, videos, podcasts, the traditional LinkedIn, which if anybody knows me and check me out on LinkedIn, I've been using that quite a bit too. And quite frankly, that's how you and I met.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different tools that are available. We've hired an outside firm to help us with that. They've been tremendous. A little kudo to Rebel Interactive for being involved in SmartPay and helping us get the word out. So we're doing whatever we can to get out in front of people and let them know that if they're in this type of space and they need some help, SmartPay should be top of mind, and we're trying to get there.
Well, and not to jump on my soapbox at all, but the truth of the matter is that if insurance agents, payroll companies, salespeople within those spaces, if they're not engaged with SmartPay, if they're not engaged with pay as you go, 5 years from now, they're going to be out of the ball game because somebody else is going to have already introduced it to their clients.
It's coming big time. And again, I can say this as a former agent and an agency principal, right? Insurance agents are very good at harvesting relationships. They're not hunters. They're not out there, looking for, I shouldn't say all, but a lot of them,
Sure.
And we realize that payroll companies are out there hunting and they're out there talking to these businesses every day, all the time. And all I'm saying is that there's going to be a different way that insurances are bought and sold. And we've heard this for decades, but it's coming because technology is allowing it. The consumer's different. COVID's taught us a lot of things. And so there's a lot of change that's going on. And we just want to be part of that process.
No doubt. I say it all the time. COVID did not necessarily invent technology or technology overlays, but it absolutely hastened the adaptation of those.
Just a quick story on that. So you're a business owner, right? God loved the restaurant world and all of that. They got smashed. So here they were paying a premium on guesstimated payrolls, right, for the whole year. And a lot of times they didn't even have any payroll, but in order to keep their doors open, they had to have the insurance. So they're paying insurance premiums that they don't, and then they got to wait until their audit to get that money back. And the insurance companies painfully had to endorse or change those policies during COVID. Make a long story short, if you were on SmartPay, whether you were the business owner or the insurance company, you were in good shape because the premiums weren't being generated unless there was payroll. So, right. COVID did really impact us. And I hate to say it, but that was one good thing for SmartPay that came out of COVID, is that everyone recognized the ability for pay as you go to really level those payments and make it a little bit less painful for some of the industry that really, really, were impacted by what happened with COVID.
No doubt. Dino, I feel like we could talk about this all day long, but if people want to learn more about you and about SmartPay, and if they want to engage with you guys, how can they find you?
Yeah. So for me personally, again, go to LinkedIn and do a little search for Dino Carbone. You'll find me there. SmartPayLLC.com. Very simple. SmartPayLLC.com. Our website talks about if you're a policyholder business, if you're a payroll company, an insurance company, an agent, we've got a little bit of information on our website for you as well. So very easy to find us. And I welcome, as you know, Jesse, reach out anytime. If I can help somebody in any way, shape, or form, I will.
No doubt. And I can attest, Dino's a great follow on LinkedIn. He puts a lot of great information out there. He's got a group as well for SmartPay. And then also their website has got a tremendous amount of information. If you're interested in learning more about pay as you go, it's a great place to start. And then after you get your feet wet, after just a little bit or enough to be dangerous, reach out to them, have a conversation with them. Dino, again, I really appreciate you joining the podcast. I'd love to have you on again soon.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. Appreciate everything you do.
There are a lot of things about technology that can be a bit much sometimes, but SmartPay Solutions truly makes life easier, and it should make a product that we already use better. In my opinion, those are the best types of technological advances. Make me feel like I'm using the same product or service that I always have. It just fits a little bit better, or it's a little bit easier to use. Not different, just better. SmartPay Solutions most certainly makes sense, and I want to thank Dino Carbone for sharing a little bit about what they do behind the scenes in the insurance industry. That's going to do it for us today. We'll catch you guys next time.